Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome back to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. And what you're about to see today is thoroughly disgusting and shouldn't be copied by anyone. Yeah, this is a triple ESA division. Triple hybrid battleship. Also, what's going on with all the bounty targets? There are 6 on Battleship 61's team here. As pointed out there in battle chat right at the beginning by Captain Poncho 1897, the captain of the friendly Prince Heinrich, ain't nobody going to be shooting at him when he gets spotted, as long as those bounty targets get spotted first. But yes, enough dancing around the main issue. A triple ESA division. The ESA, of course, a hybrid battleship. It was actually designed as a Fuso, but the Fusos were kind of obsolete at the beginning of the Second World War. And after the crippling carrier losses that the Imperial Japanese Navy suffered at the Battle of Midway, Issei was rebuilt by having her rear turrets removed and a flight deck slapped on instead. So, yep, this ship did actually exist. And there are 3 of them in this battle, all in one division. I do have to say that while I make no excuses for the monumental level of assholery on display here from Battleship 61 and his 2 partners in crime, at least they do have the good grace to nominate themselves as bounty targets. Give the enemy team something worthwhile to shoot at. As if shooting at a division of 3 hybrid battleships wasn't reason enough. And just in case it does for some reason need pointing out, the reason that this is a asshole move of colossal proportions is that if it wasn't for these 3 guys, everybody in this battle would be enjoying a match without aircraft carriers. Instead, the enemy team have to put up with the triple carrier division. I mean, normally you can't make a triple carrier division. I mean, World of Warships doesn't really apologise for aircraft carriers, but they do at least understand that having massed carriers in a team isn't fun for anybody, so they'll limit the number of carriers that can be in a division. But there's no limit on the number of hybrids that can be in a division. Oh, no. I mean, I realise I really shouldn't be applauding or encouraging this kind of thing, but, I mean, there's assholes and then there's assholes, right? I mean, the average level of assholery that you see in just about every battle, whether it's World of Warships or any kind of online gaming, it's mostly just it's just an annoyance. You know, there's nothing remarkable about it. But this, this displays a level of dedication to the art of assholery that most of us rarely get to see. The enemy Belfast is going to see it though. Get a load of this. The Issei's torpedo bombers are not actually that good. They're slow, they don't have a lot of hit points, but each aircraft in the squadron drops 2 torpedoes. And there are 3 of these guys, and at least 2 of them are cross-dropping this poor Belfast. And of course it is still, at the end of the day, a Fuso, although a kind of nerfed one. But 14-inch armour piercing is still 14-inch armour piercing, and it'll still paddle the broadside of light cruisers like the Belfast over there. That guy thought he was going out for a spot of seal clubbing, didn't he? I mean, it's like I say, if you're going to be an asshole, make no apologies for it and do it properly. You know, don't mince around with your assholery. If you're going to commit, commit. There he is in chat. No seal clubbing for you. Normally I'd feel sorry for the recipient of this kind of bullying, but it was a Belfast, so... I mean, if you're a Belfast player, it is a stupidly overpowered ship, so, well, you know, what goes around comes around. Oh man, this is disgusting. Can you imagine? You're on the enemy team, you look at the team list at the start, before the battle begins, you think, yay, no carriers. Oh, finally, everybody can have it. Oh, shit. Triple hybrid division. I mean, it's not funny. Except it really kind of is. Oh, here they go again. Unlike an actual carrier, you can't constantly be cycling aircraft. You've got one squadron on Issei, and it does have a cooldown. And the torpedoes are kind of shit. I mean, you're lucky to score 3,000 damage per hit with them. Less against a battleship with torpedo damage reduction. But they do have a 17% chance per torpedo of causing flooding. And, well, you know, I was going to say 8 of them, but, well, this guy's about to... It's actually 16. Oh, no, it's 24. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. It really isn't funny. It really is funny. Yeah, I know. I'm going to hell for putting this video up, and I deserve it. I'm not trying to make excuses here, but hey, I won't be alone, because Battleship 61, Peyton Minier, and Richie Macrophage will all be there waiting for me, because they started it. This is kind of like a way more toxic version of the old Triple Leon division. Does anybody remember that? The Leon, the French Tier 7 battleship. It's... Oh, speaking of which, one of them's just been sunk on Battleship 61's team. But does anybody remember the old videos of the Triple Leon 48 gun salute divisions, where 3 of you would division up, each of you in a Leon, and you'd sail around? Because the Leon, of course, I mean, it's not a very good ship, but it does have 16 guns, and 3 of them have 48 guns. And you'd have Triple Leon divisions sailing around, all synchronising their shots to fire at the same time at the same target. A case of throw enough shit at the wall, plenty of it's going to stick. This is kind of like that, but somehow worse. Oh, torpedo bombers are ready to go again. He's going to want to ensure that he's safely angled up against the Prinz Eitel Friedrich over there that he upset earlier. Oh, well, then again, I mean, you know, the guns are loaded. You may as well. Why not? And then get the aircraft away. He hasn't been doing that well with the guns so far, has he? I mean, he got that opening citadel against the Belfast. I mean, these aren't just 14-inch guns. It's a Busso, after all. Who's he going for? The Sinop? Looks like he's going for the Sinop. Remember, 8 torpedoes per drop. Looks like somebody else... Oh dear. Yeah, they're coordinating their targets. The Sinop, at least... Well, the first member of the enemy team thus far who has the sense to try and nose in against these torpedo drops, rather than just ploughing on full steam ahead and eating all 8. Alright, the Colorado could be a problem. Again, not a particularly good ship, but it is armed with 16-inch guns. Slowly reversing off the island and angling against... because this could hurt. Remember, the Issei is basically a Fuso, so it's not the best armoured. This could... Yep, that could have been worse. It wasn't good. Oh, now here... Yeah, well, actually, that was kind of bad. However, the Colorado, while it does have impressive guns, it does not have impressive armour. I mean, he's only got the 2 turrets to fire at it. Yeah. I mean, you know, could be better, could be worse. Here comes the Prinz Eitel Friedrich. Right, he's got a choice of targets here now. He's getting some high explosive fire support going in towards the Colorado. Hopefully it'll set a fire. Give him something to use his damage control on. Unfortunately, the Prinz Eitel Friedrich has recovered some health, and Battleship 61 is getting shot at from across the map. So he's broadside onto somebody. He's going to need to head forward. Going to try to finish off the Prinz Eitel Friedrich while he waits the 12 seconds that it's going to take for the torpedo bombers to come off cooldown. That guy really does need to die so he can use the torpedo bombers against the Colorado. Some armor piercing going in there from across the map, again towards the Colorado. I don't think he can really afford to... Oh, he's going to go for it. He's not going to sit around waiting for his guns to reload. He's going to go for it with the torpedo bombers. Remember, he can only strike one of these targets. Oh, and one of the Isseis has just gone down. Honestly, I'm not going to shed any tears. They know what they did. So who's he going for? Well, the Colorado is slower and the easier target to hit, but he is burning, and in order to get the Colorado, he's going to have to fly through the Prinz Eitel Friedrich's AA, and they'd already shot down one of his torpedo bombers. These things don't have a huge amount of health. So he's hoping that the flood is going to finish off the Prinz Eitel Friedrich, and shots out at the Colorado, who is burning, but he's also using his heal. Colorado down. And it kind of looks like the Prinz Eitel Friedrich has used his damage control, because that flood didn't stick. I mean, it makes sense. He was on extremely low health, but oh. Yeah. There's still another surviving Issei in this division. You know, this could easily have qualified as an episode of A Game of Thrones, because at one time, Battleship 61's team were 400 points, 1 kill, and 3 cap circles behind. But I feel like labelling this as an episode of A Game of Thrones would have been doing a disservice to the dedication to the art of being an asshole that's on display here from these 3 guys. I feel that this level of commitment deserves recognition all of its own. Also, what's going on with his guns? I mean, I know they are just 14-inch guns, but it's like he just can't get a penetration. Look at this. 31 hits, 5 penetrations. They're all either over pens or shatters and ricochets. And he has mostly been shooting at battleships here. I mean, aside from the opening salvo against the Belfast, where he scored his one and only Citadel. But pretty much every other shot that he's fired has been against, well, you know, battleships. The West Virginia up there, the Sinop, the Prince Eitel Friedrich, the Colorado. And yet we're seeing shots pretty much from the same turrets that are either over-penetrating or ricocheting. It's like there's no consistency whatsoever. I mean, I realise that the Fuso upon which the Issei is based, it's not the most accurate battleship in Tier 6, but it kind of makes up for its accuracy by sheer volume of fire, which the Issei doesn't get because the 2 rear turrets were removed in order to create this flight deck. But I mean, you'd expect shots from the same turrets at least to be achieving consistent results, but that just doesn't appear to be happening. Come on, Sinop, don't be shy. Oh, alright, yeah. He was hoping that the Sinop was going to come around the corner broadside on, but he was smart enough to not fall for that old gag. So he raised his sights, trying to take the Sinop's turret out. Didn't quite work. The Sinop isn't committing to a ram. He might be able to get away with it. You see, this is... Oof, took a big hit there. See, he's normally, this kind of manoeuvre, your rear turrets would be able to finish him off. But he doesn't have any rear turrets, so he has to take this nice and slow in order to not outrun the turning of his turrets, and he manages to get it right before his partner in crime in the other Issei finishes him off with his torpedoes. Now he's free to launch his own torpedo bombers, which is going to be real bad news for the West Virginia. But hang on, Jingles, that's West Virginia 1944. It's the salvaged and upgraded version of the West Virginia with enhanced AA defences and the defensive anti-aircraft fire cooldown. And the Issei's torpedo bombers are very, very slow and have very, very low health. Oh, you sweet summer child. You really think that's going to make any difference? Count the torpedo hits. 8 dropped, 6 hits. It's very, very difficult to actually score all 8 on one target with the Issei's torpedo bombers because they do have a very, very wide spread. 6 is about the maximum that you can possibly hope to hit against a target with enhanced AA defences and the defensive fire cooldown. The only reason the West Virginia 44 isn't already decorating the bottom of the ocean is because these torpedoes have terrible individual alpha strike. However, quantity has a quality all of its own, and if you can land a good few of them on the target, and he just did, you're almost always going to cause a flood because 17% chance of causing a flood for each torpedo hit. Surprisingly, he didn't. I mean, he got 6 torpedo hits on the West Virginia there. No floods. Normally, it's a surefire way of guaranteeing that you force an enemy target to trigger its damage control. Well, that did not happen today. It's the only bit of good news that West Virginia can expect to have in the next couple of minutes, though, because the other Issei is launching aircraft on him. Battleship 61 sneaking around, trying to catch him from the rear, although the West Virginia has launched its spotter plane, and it has seen Battleship 61, which could be bad news if its guns are pointing this way. Battleship 61 nosing in, ready to angle just in case. And no, West Virginia fully occupied by, well, yeah, those. Which allows Battleship 61 to get some sneaky shots out. Boom, headshot, there goes the West Virginia. That just leaves the USS New York, who still has most of his health remaining, but, well, how can I put this? The New York isn't a particularly good Tier 5 battleship. I mean, it's not completely awful, but it's a Tier 5 battleship alone against a destroyer and 2 aircraft carriers, so... yeah. He's going to make a brave fight of it, though, but, you know, heroic last stands and all that are about the best that he can expect to achieve here. This could be tricky for Battleship 61, though, because, well, the Leningrad's gotten some torpedoes away, and the New York's about to spot them, which means he's going to have to You see, the thing about these torpedoes, right, and I know this sounds really obvious, but they kind of have to land in the water, and then they have to run before they arm. And with New York probably turning in to avoid those torpedoes, you might not have enough space to actually drop on him. It's going to be tight. Oh, that was good. Okay, 3 hits out of 8, but the fact that he actually managed to drop those torpedoes and have them land in the water far enough away from the New York for them to be able to arm in time, that was pretty impressive. Like I say, if you're going to be an asshole, at least commit to being an asshole and do it right. You know, no half measures here. I'm not even sure who's winning. I mean, I know who's going to win. There's no way the New York is pulling this off. But, you know, it's a World of Warships replay. I don't even know if the scores have been flipped. I expect that Battleship 61's team are probably ahead. But let's face it, nobody's winning this one on points. That New York's going down. The other Isay's got the torpedo bombers in the air. Battleship 61's looking for the shot. Oh, and he's managed to take the cap. Oh, nice. Shots out. Oh, just sailed over the top of the island. There it is. Just cleared the island. Great shooting. And you have no idea how much it pains me to say this, but some great torpedo drops as well. Battleship 61, Peyton Minier, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but hey, at least I tried, and Richie Macrophage in a triple Isay division. Hybrid carrier battleships. What a bunch of arseholes. And yet, it was kind of funny. That's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Please do not attempt to do this at home. And as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.